Following my intuition after last week's video, I got a whole number of little emails, all asking pretty much the same thing. Upon reflection, I actually found that this is one of the questions that I get asked the most, maybe not the most, but one of the most asked questions that I also get related to spirit science and patch parables and spirit quests and all of these things, which is this a religion? Is it a cult? Is it a what the hell is it? So to understand this question, I think I have to kind of go back and just share a little bit more about where spirit science came from so that we can actually maybe get to the core of what it is that's going on here. Because even for me, at a number of times, I'm like, wow, I have absolutely no idea what's happening. On a number of occasions, I even said, this is an experiment in expression. This is a discovery of something new. This is something completely new for me in my life. And what it seems like is it's something new for a lot of people's lives, and not everybody also knows how to describe it. And I hear a whole bunch of cool stories about, you're like, oh man, I was against looking at this for months and months, and then my friend sat me down and said, you have to watch this. And then they would sit down and watch it and be like, holy shit, this makes so much sense. Oh my god, and have all sorts of realizations and all sorts of new ideas about ways of being and ways of living on this planet. So I gotta say, I think that's pretty cool, and I'm really happy that I'm able to share that excitement with everybody, because really that's how I felt when I started it. So spirit science started because I had found something new in my life, and I had found something that I felt kind of pulled to. I didn't know why. I was just like, there's something about what this is. And at the time I didn't even know how to describe it. I was like, there's this sacred geometry which connects to these thought things, and then there's all this new ancient information, and you can put it all together and you get this thing. And I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna make some videos about it. I'm gonna call it spirit science. Here you go. And I tossed it out into the sea of consciousness that we called the YouTube internet channel worldwide connection system global network thing. The spirit science really ultimately emerged from my own inspiration. It was something that I had found that I was really excited about, really passionate about. So this week, as I was looking for questions and I was looking around, people were asking, is it a religion? Is it called New Age? Is Scientology? People were throwing these weird things at it, and I was saying, well, maybe this actually calls for us to take a step back and ask a very fundamental question. What is a religion? What is a belief? What is a cultural system? How does it work in the world? And so I asked an expert, and this is what he said.
So, what exactly is an expert? If you will indulge me for just a moment while I share with you my interpretation of what an expert is. Someone you think, or I think, knows more about a particular topic or subject than I do, or you do. An expert is someone we often defer to because they have more information, or better information, or somehow information that is better than what we think we know. It's also often a convenient scapegoat for pointing a finger when something maybe doesn't work out exactly like we expected it to, or like we had hoped it would. We can say, oh, well, I listened to the experts, it's not my fault. This is often the place with those who purport or espouse religion emphatically. They're insistent that the religious doctrine is the right one, the way we should follow it. It's that sort of pulpit thing. Here, the religious icon or the religious figure stands above everyone else to speak to them, or down to them often, to espouse this specialized knowledge or information that they somehow divinely possess, that's better than what you know, or what I know, or what anyone else knows. So much like an expert, we're supposed to defer to them and take their information as, well, how does the phrase go? Gospel? I might propose for just a moment that we consider what the word religion actually means. And I mean, let's go back in history a little bit and see, where does the word come from? What does it mean?
The modern understanding of religion and the etymological understanding of where the word came from mean two completely different things. And so it's like our ancient meaning, the older meaning of the word, does not match what we currently understand it to be. So right off the bat, you have this kind of break in what things used to mean and what they mean now. And now it's kind of become this, a big circle of moral and cultural belief systems in relationship to something that is out there. Often, at least that's the idea, is something that's, out there, and it's something that you can grab onto, something that someone else is telling you about, rather than something that you're finding from within yourself.
Now, the most recent definition that you can find from like Webster's dictionary or Google is, the belief in and worship of a superhuman controlling power, especially a personal god or gods. Sometimes also details of belief as taught or discussed. But if we go back a little farther, we find something really interesting. As early as, circa 1200, we find the state of life bound by monastic vows. Also, conduct indicating a belief in a divine power. But if we go back even a little further than that, we find an old French version of religion meaning community or respect for what is sacred. And then before that, we find Cicero, who derived from religere, to go through again, to read again. Perhaps even another possibility is religions. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, it's so old, but the opposite of negligence, careful or full of care. Perhaps with this understanding, we can share in the careful exploration of what all these ideas mean, what they mean to me, what they mean to you, what they mean to us together.
Taking all of those things and putting them together.
What our relationships mean, what our relationships could look like, and how we could all relate equally together.
You come into a space where you can be open to all ideas, and then you can make connections with other real people and talk to them about what things mean to you and what things mean to them.
Not one above another, or one below another, but together, each of us bringing our own unique, individual interpretations of what the world means, of what the universe means, what it means to you, what it means to me, what it means to us together.
And so by looking at all of these different cultures and belief systems, you can actually form a new idea, a new understanding of the way things are. And I think that that's kind of where the magic lies, is bringing things together that work and make sense.
Now, to me, that sounds like not only much more fun, but a much more productive way to be than the old version of religion.
For example, in India, the Indian culture is to worship and respect everything. They worship the cats and the dogs and the trees and the rivers and the sky. They worship the ground beneath their feet, and they worship each other, most importantly. And to them, God is everything.
The short version of all of this: question everything with an inquisitive curiosity. Open ears, open eyes, and most importantly, an open heart.
So I guess to bring it all together, we have this: what is spirit science? Is it New Age? Is it Christian? Is it an atheist thing? Is it this? Is it that? What the hell is it? And all I can really say is that it is what it is. And if you can look at it, you can see it for being what it is, and hopefully you can see where I'm coming from and seeing what I'm trying to create, in a sense, by creating it. And by putting it out there, then it becomes kind of an expression of my vibration, coupled with the vibration of everyone who wants to get involved and everyone who wants to connect. And I think what's really cool is that a lot of the people out there I know are so awesome. And I see you, and you're so beautiful, and thank you for joining me. And I very much like to join you as well. And we can all strive together to make something fantastic, because I think that's really what it's about. That's what really inspires me, is seeing how many cool people there are in the world who really want to do something powerful, do something that helps push the human race forward one step at a time, one person at a time, by bringing our awareness to things that they otherwise are not on. Bringing our awareness to things that we should be talking about, things we should be looking at, and things we should be creating. If everybody didn't have their heads up their ass and we could actually sit down and say, okay, what kind of cool technology do we want to make? You know, instead of having to go all, there's this legal system and a patent system, and then there's these guys are going to try and sue you, and these guys own these technologies, and this guy, you know, if everyone could just get together and say, okay, this is what we have. What do we want to make? And, you know, there's a division of guys who are like, man, I love portal guns. And then there's other guys who are like, cloud cities. I'm all over the cloud cities. And then, you know, there's people who are like, man, wouldn't it be cool if we made like these bicycles that were completely electrically charged and you could move really, really fast, and they were all solar panel, they're like free energy, and you could drive all the way around a city. You wouldn't have to use any energy except using your own body and this device, this technology. We wouldn't need cars, and you know, or then we make a motorcycle with like a pod around it or something so that you can stay warm in the winter and it still has the same things to it. I mean, there's so many cool things that we could make, and we just have to get out of our own way in a sense. And that's what really inspires me, is making really cool things. And I mean, I guess we can always say, there's not going to be any potential for that. But I think if we at least set an intention to do something like that, then maybe we'll find our way to do it. And it'll take as long as it takes, and we'll go one step at a time. So last week, we had posted everywhere that it was Panic to Freedom launch week, and it was really funny because I've been working with Ray on Panic to Freedom, and I posted this up, and he was taking a nap, and he woke up, and he came over, and he was like, what is all this? It's launch week? We better get to work! So we spent the whole week trying to get all these things done in time, and also do all these interviews with people, and, well, we didn't get it all done, so we actually renamed last week Panic Week, and now this week is Freedom Week. So at the end of the week, we ended up just taking a whole bunch of breaths, you know, using our own advice that we're giving, and we're like, okay, let's just breathe. Let's calm down. Let's stop panicking. Let's just sit down and allow ourselves to just figure out what's happening and try and get back into the order. What needs to get taken care of? What do we need to do? And how can we make this happen as smooth and harmonic as possible? And so, even though the program's not launched yet, I guess I can't really say when it's going to be launched, but just that it will be launched, and it'll probably be very soon. We're going to go with the flow this week, and we're going to see what we can do. And everybody out there who's on the email list and who's kind of been following Panic to Freedom and paying attention, well, we're working on it. And thank you for your support and patience as well.